There was one more thing that Member Festino mentioned that I'd like to address. She said that if we, and correct me if I'm wrong, that if we came in with a proposal like the one that we have, but if it came in at code height, that you would approve it.
No, I didn't say that.
No?
That's not
I
possible.
said,
So what was the
what I
relevance of?
said was, what did I say?
Should you be open to review?
I said, yeah,
More open to
I
review.
was saying that, what did I say?
It's your responsibility to be open to review it. That's not a choice.
I am. My problem is stated at the beginning. I cannot see any significant change from what was proposed last year.
Correct. Thank you, Peter. You sit down now.
Actually, Mr. Chairman, I haven't addressed, as you said I would have an opportunity to, some of the comments from the public earlier.
Yeah, well, wait till we've gone through and had our discussion, and then you can comment on our comments and on those of the public. Now, does anyone on the left of me have anything to say?
Well, I do, but I also have a request. Could we restate what it is that we're here to discuss?
We are here to discuss the proposed amendments to the comp plan and to make a recommendation that you've read them.
I know, but it doesn't seem like anyone else has. That's why I'd like to...
I've read them over and over again. I read them last year as well.
Well, you know, my concern is that the people out here who put in an hour and a half or longer tonight, whether they agree to disagree is not really that relevant to me from this perspective. But you know, what do we hear? It seems to me it's very easy for people who've lost perspective. I mean, even up here listening to some of these comments. So I would like an official reading of the proposed amendment changes, the reason that we're here.
I think that would be impossible, frankly. You'd have to come up with the underlined passages, the deleted passages. It's much easier. There were copies of these available to everyone coming in tonight. And I know they've not had long to go through them.
Okay.
And
Well,
I do want to make a point later on, before we get to the end of this discussion, on whether or not we have given residents of the town sufficient time and opportunity to address these.
But I would like to mention one thing about them, because it was stated the town attorney would agree that it's identical to what was put in last year. It's not identical, because what's happened is they've taken last year's, and then in a couple instances, they've crossed through last year's. But really what you should be doing when you're trying to modify the comprehensive plan is to say what's in there, and then you're crossing through, underlining that. What they did is they took what we offered last year, and in the majority of cases, you'll see, if you see some underlines or cross-throughs from commercial to motel or whatever, they're taking last year's and crossing through an underline. So that's not gonna be correct to really send to DCA, because that's not what's in our comp plan now. The other issue that I've had is our comp plan, when it was finally written out without any strike-throughs and underlines, those paragraph and page numbers changed.
Correct.
So it's no longer 27 anymore, because we took out a lot of stuff. It's 19, and that kind of thing happens. The other thing is, he's put in there some, in his justification, he has included almost a half a page to 3/4 of a page about working waterfront, and I just want to make sure that you all have, and it's just on the record, and they may not know that, I've understood what they've said. We did do a memorandum on working waterfront, and I think that has absolutely no relevance to this. That's part of their justification, but I want you to know that from our legal opinion, it has no relevance.
That's the one
I
from
know,
April the
Brad,
20th, 2009, correct?
this is the first time I've seen this, was 10 minutes before the meeting, so, you know, that kind of annoys me to start with, if I have to make reference or anything in here as I usually do it tonight, because that's just not right to present something to a member of the planning board that takes issue, right or wrong, and give us 8 minutes with a crowded room to read it so that we can speak intelligently. Can't do it.
Vice Chairman, the other thing that the town attorney didn't do is give you the response letter to the letter that you're holding in your hand. So he wanted you to see that, but not the
Well,
response.
Peter,
the response to
I'll
it.
fight my own battles here.
The justification has changed. The attachment A, which is the attachment that we worked together with you and Trewa on, is identical to the attachment that went before the town council October 20th, 2009. If there is anything that differs from that, I'd like you to point out specifically what.
You've actually crossed through, well, you see, that's the point.
We didn't cross, those are your cross-throughs because that's the attachment that we got from you. And don't take my word for it, I have email correspondence.
But that's what I'm saying, you're not understanding. Now, that didn't get sent up. So now, you need to go back and you just need to say, okay, well, where is, because what you've done is just, yeah, there was a change between the first reading and between what you were gonna move forward. And so therefore, your attorney said, okay, we don't wanna call it commercial, we're gonna call it hotel motel, so we'll cross through that in this application. That was last year. This year, you need to look at the comprehensive plan, you need to say what's in there, and you don't put cross through commercial in there, you just put hotel motel. Okay, and then you don't add in
Mr. Biggs, the
things.
criticisms that you're making on there are criticisms
I agree,
of,
they're technical.
but that's your own work.
No, it would have been my work last
That
year.
attachment that
This
you're,
year, it would not have been my
that
work.
attachment that you're critiquing is yours and Treela's work. We've used your attachment, your
But this year,
version.
it's not correct. Because it never got sent up, so that doesn't exist.
So aside from technical,
Essentially,
page numbers
that's
and
what I was going
different
to
ordinance
say.
numbers.
Essentially, it's the same. The justification, I don't think, the justification added in something I think is not relevant at all. And essentially, this is the same, but it would have to be changed if you were gonna attach this to an ordinance and send it up.
Right. One question I have about, you can both answer this. Peter referred earlier on to the fact that this application was identical to the one put to the council in October last year. We know it was revised from the one that was put to the planning board in June.